In the sleepy suburb of Newton, William Waters navigated the shadows of a life marked by silent absences. Born in February 1960, he was the second child to parents who had already tasted the bitter loss of their first, Caroline, a vibrant 3-year-old with fiery red hair. Her untimely death, just days after William's birth, left an unspoken chasm in the family. William's father, once a beacon of laughter in old home movies, retreated into a shell of stoicism. His mother, cloaked in the smoke of her cigarettes and the warmth of bourbon, sought solace in solitude or occasional companionship with a neighbor. The Waters moved, leaving behind the ghost of a daughter and embracing a new home where William was the only child. William's world was solitary, his days filled with the silent companionship of basketball. He embraced the game with a fervor, finding solace in the rhythmic bounce of the ball and the imagined cheers of a crowd. It was a sanctuary where he could escape the mute grief of his home. At 10, William's solitary game was interrupted by an invitation from a group of boys to join their game. He was thrust into a camaraderie that felt alien yet exhilarating. This was his first taste of belonging, a contrast to the invisible existence he felt at home and school. High school brought a transformation. William's skill in basketball flourished, earning him a spot on the varsity team as a freshman. However, life threw him another curveball his sophomore year, when a growth spurt turned him into a lanky, -1'7" player. His skill on the court earned him a scholarship to Northwestern University. College life was a maze of history classes, basketball practice, and a budding romance with Julia, a fellow student whose inquisitive nature and bright spirit lit up William's world. Yet, challenges on the court continued as he struggled to find his place in a team of stronger, more skilled players. Off the court, William found unexpected friendship with Kent, a teammate with whom he shared the mundane job of laundry duty. Their bond was one of shared dreams and quiet understanding, a stark contrast to the isolation William felt in his own family. As senior year approached, a knee injury benched William, casting a shadow over his future in basketball. The recovery was slow, a period marked by introspection and a growing realization of the fragility of his dreams. William's journey through college was not just about basketball. It was a quest for identity, a struggle to find his place in a world that often felt as though it had moved on without him. The game had given him purpose, a sense of belonging, but as he stood on the threshold of adulthood, he realized that life was more than just the confines of a basketball court. He left Boston for college, stepping into a new chapter with Julia by his side and a heart full of dreams, tempered by the realities of life. William's story is one of resilience and discovery, a narrative woven with the threads of loss, love, and the relentless pursuit of a place in the world. In the heart of Chicago's vibrant Pilsen neighborhood, Julia Padovano stood in the modest backyard of her family's home, a patchwork of vibrant murals and immigrant voices. She observed her mother, Rose, garbed in her eccentric gardening attire, a mix of baseball catcher's gear and a sombrero, tending to the last of the season's potatoes. Julia's thoughts wandered to William, her boyfriend, due to arrive any minute. She anticipated the amusing discomfort he'd likely endure with her father's peculiar poetry, recitations, and her sister's ceaseless chatter. Julia's home was a small, lived-in space, echoing the humble working-class ethos of the area. She contemplated how William, from a more affluent background, might perceive their simple abode with its plastic-covered floral couch and array of saintly images. These were contrasts to his world, yet Julia hoped he'd see the charm in her family's quirks. As dusk approached, Julia joined her family inside, ready to introduce William to the colorful tapestry of her life. Her sisters, each with their distinct personalities, artistic Cecilia, empathetic Emmeline, and the spirited Sylvie, added to the dynamic. William arrived, slightly overwhelmed, but embraced into the fold with warmth and curiosity. Amidst the lively dinner, Julia's father, Charlie, probed William with unexpected questions about his future, a rare occurrence that hinted at Charlie's own unfulfilled dreams. William's uncertainty about life post-basketball mirrored Julia's ambitions for a stable, successful future, far from the confines of Pilsen. She envisioned a life where she could leverage her keen problem-solving skills in the corporate world, a stark contrast to the complacency she perceived in her neighborhood. William's proposal during their junior year aligned perfectly with Julia's meticulously crafted life plan, yet his reluctance to inform his parents of their engagement hinted at underlying tensions. The brief, perfunctory phone call to William's parents in Boston left Julia feeling hollow, her efforts to charm falling on distant ears. In a spontaneous shift from their conservative approach to intimacy, Julia, driven by a mix of sympathy, love, and a desire to assert her role in William's life, led him to his room for a more profound connection. Julia's story is a tapestry of ambition, familial bonds, cultural contrasts, and the pursuit of a dream shaped by her environment and aspiration. In the backdrop of Pilsen's colorful streets, she navigates her path, bridging the gap between her humble beginnings and the future she so ardently desires. In the heart of Pilsen, the Lozano Library stood like a sentinel at a bustling three-way intersection. Sylvie, a librarian's assistant at 20, cherished every nook of this haven of knowledge. She'd grown within these walls, starting as a bookshelver at 13. The library's towering windows framed the city's moods, its light and weather a canvas of ever-changing art. One mundane day, as Sylvie nestled copies of What Color Is Your Parachute into their shelves, Ernie, her high school acquaintance, wandered into her aisle. Their brief, clandestine embrace, a kiss lasting 90 seconds, was a snippet of youth's daring dance. Sylvie viewed these fleeting romances as rehearsals for a destined great love, yet they were also fragments of innocent fun. Sylvie's musings on love often met with her sister Julia's practicality. Julia, now enamored with William Waters, saw love as a milestone in life's structured journey, not the sole reason for existence. Julia's love had softened her, yet her vision remained clear: education, marriage, children, financial stability. In contrast, Sylvie's approach to love was whimsical, almost poetic. She dreamt of a love that would transform her, likening herself to a house waiting to become a world through love's magic. Her aspiration, however, didn't blind her to reality. She aspired to a degree in English literature, to grasp the beauty in the world's stories and perhaps to craft her own. Sylvie's family dynamics were complex. Her mother, Rose, an enigma of silent love and fierce expectations, had her own disillusionments. Rose's love for their father, Charlie, was a study in perseverance. Sylvie and her sisters, each unique in their paths, navigated the undercurrents of familial love and expectations. Julia's romance with William, a journey into planned happiness, contrasted starkly with Sylvie's whimsical search for an unscripted love. William, a man anchored by Julia's love, revealed his own familial struggles, contrasting the warmth Sylvie's family, despite its flaws, radiated. Sylvie's return to college, facilitated by Julia's intervention and a kind-hearted banker's assistance, was a testament to the love and support that underpinned her life. The celebration within their small bedroom, a sanctuary of sisterhood, was bittersweet. Julia's playful predictions of their futures, once a cherished game, now echoed with the weight of reality and unspoken dreams. On Julia's wedding day, the family awoke to a flurry of activity. The event, a community effort, reflected the interconnectedness of their lives. Sylvie, amidst the chaos, yearned for the tranquility of the library, a reflection of her inner conflict between her fascination with love and her discomfort with its public display. The revelation of Cecilia's pregnancy, a jolt to the family's rhythm, underscored the unpredictability of life. Sylvie, who had cautiously navigated her own romantic explorations, confronted the stark reality that life's path was not always within one's control. As the wedding unfolded, Sylvie stood by her sister, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts, of love's complexities, of family ties, of futures uncertain. In the library of her heart, where each book was a chapter of her life, Sylvie pondered the myriad doors yet to be opened, the stories yet to be told. In the spring of 1982, William's world transformed on the basketball court. During a heated game, a collision with a formidable opponent sent him crashing to the ground, injuring his knee grievously. This injury marked the end of his burgeoning athletic career and the beginning of an uncertain journey towards recovery and self-discovery. Confined to a hospital room, William's life became a cycle of surgeries and introspection. Basketball had been his universe, but now his world shrank to the confines of his hospital bed, with his injured knee demanding his undivided attention. The once lively and energetic athlete found himself lost in a fog of pain and medication, clinging to fragments of conversations about his condition. During this challenging period, William's loneliness was eased by the frequent visits of his friends Kent and Julia. Kent, busy with his own life, could only spare a few moments, but Julia, William's fiancée, was a constant presence. She brought a spark of joy to the sterile hospital room with her playful entrances and unwavering support, reminding William of the love and life waiting for him beyond the hospital walls. The coming months held significant milestones for William, his graduation and marriage to Julia. Despite his physical and emotional struggles, these events offered a glimmer of hope and normalcy. Yet, amid these celebrations, William grappled with the absence of his estranged parents. A terse letter from them, containing a check but devoid of warmth or reconciliation, deepened his sense of loss and abandonment. William's recovery was more than physical. It was a journey of confronting his vulnerabilities and redefining his identity. The compassionate guidance of his physiotherapist, Arash, opened his eyes to the long-term impact of his injury and the possibilities that lay beyond his athletic aspiration. Arash's insights helped William see a future where he could still be connected to the sport he loved, albeit in a different role. As his wedding day approached, William navigated the complexities of joining Julia's family. The dynamics with her sisters and her mother, Rose, who would soon become his mother-in-law, were new and sometimes challenging territories for him. Rose's acceptance and invitation for him to call her mom was a poignant moment, filling a void left by his own parents' indifference. The wedding was a whirlwind of emotions, a celebration of love and new beginnings. Amid the joy and revelry, William experienced moments of introspection, recognizing the profound changes in his life. He looked towards the future with a mix of apprehension and hope, understanding that life was leading him down an unexpected but potentially rewarding path. As he embarked on his married life and academic pursuits, William realized that his journey was not just about overcoming physical injury, but also about embracing change and finding strength in love and relationships. In Julia, he found not just a partner, but a guiding force, someone who helped him navigate the uncharted waters of his new life. His story was no longer just about a basketball player sidelined by injury, but about a man learning to redefine his dreams and embrace the unexpected twists of fate. In the fleeting months of June to October 1982, Julia found herself unprepared for the paradoxes of her honeymoon. Married to William, she envisioned idyllic days by Lake Michigan's shore, only to confront whipping sands and William's struggle with mobility due to his reliance on crutches. Their love, however, remained undimmed, finding solace in the intimate seclusion of their lakeside hotel room. Returning to Chicago, they settled into a serene apartment on Northwestern's campus, a stark contrast to Julia's childhood home. William, embarking on graduate studies, found work at the admissions office, while Julia relished her new-found freedom in grocery shopping, liberated from the dietary restrictions of her family home. Amidst this new life, William's recovery progressed, urged by his doctor to abandon his crutches and regain strength through walking. Julia, supportive yet anxious, navigated this new chapter with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Unforeseen, Julia's sisters arrived at her doorstep, a pleasant surprise shadowed by grave news. Cecilia, the youngest, revealed her pregnancy at 17. This revelation sent shockwaves through Julia, who grappled with her sister's choice and its implications for their family. Julia's visit to her mother, Rose, in the wake of Cecilia's decision, revealed a landscape of maternal despair and lost dreams. Rose, haunted by her own past of youthful pregnancy, viewed Cecilia's situation as a repetition of history, a cycle of unfulfilled potential and familial strain. As Julia struggled to reconcile her family's turmoil, she envisioned a solution, a baby of her own. She saw this as a bridge to healing, a way to envelop Cecilia's child in a blanket of familial love and acceptance. Cecilia's labor, a tempestuous yet miraculous event, marked the arrival of Isabella Rose, a beacon of new beginnings. In the delivery room, Julia, bearing witness to life's raw power, found a profound connection with her sister and the newborn. The aftermath of Izzy's birth brought reconciliation and unexpected tragedy. Charlie, their father, embraced his granddaughter with a tenderness that mended fences, only to succumb to a sudden heart attack, leaving behind a family at the cusp of healing and change. In this whirlwind of joy and sorrow, Julia stood at the crossroads of her own impending motherhood and the legacy of her family, determined to weave a future where love and understanding triumphed over past mistakes and pains. In the autumn of 1982, the small town of Pilsen was cloaked in a somber air, its heart heavy with the passing of Charlie Padovano. For 3 days, the wake at the local funeral home saw a continuous line of mourners, each bearing their own grief and stories of Charlie's unassuming kindness. Sylvie, Charlie's middle daughter, found herself immersed in a sea of condolences and revelations about her father's quiet acts of benevolence. From aiding a woman at the bus stop to assisting Mr. Luis in establishing his flower shop, Charlie's generosity had touched many lives in profound ways. The Padovano sisters Sylvie, Rose, Julia, and Emmeline stood united, yet each lost in their own reflections of a father who had been a silent pillar in their lives. The wake was a mosaic of Charlie's life, portrayed through the eyes of co-workers, drinking buddies, and young mothers he had helped in times of need. Sylvie, particularly, grappled with the realization that her father's influence extended far beyond their family home. Charlie's death had opened a chasm in the Padovano family, revealing long-standing rifts and unspoken grievances. The sisters, each dealing with their own complexities, found their familial bonds tested as they navigated their grief. Sylvie, who had always felt a special connection with her father, felt his absence acutely. She struggled to find her place in a world that suddenly seemed devoid of the understanding and acceptance she had always found in Charlie. The funeral brought forth a wave of people, a testament to Charlie's impact, yet it also highlighted the personal voids and heartaches of the attendees. Sylvie, observing the outpouring of emotion, realized the universality of grief and loss. In her father's death, others found a space to express their own sorrows. In the wake of the funeral, the Padovano household, once a place of warmth and unity under Charlie's subtle guidance, turned into a labyrinth of unspoken words and strained relationships. The sisters faced the daunting task of redefining their identities without the anchor of their father's presence. Sylvie, in particular, felt a deep disconnect with her surroundings, questioning her role within the family and her path forward. The sale of the family home, a decision made by their mother, Rose, in an attempt to start anew, further fractured the family. It was a symbolic end to the life they had known, a final turning of the page on a chapter filled with memories, love, and now loss. As each sister grappled with their individual grief and the transformation of their family dynamics. They were forced to confront the reality of moving forward in a world without Charlie. The unity they once took for granted was now a fragile thread, each of them clinging to it in their own way, searching for solace in a landscape irrevocably altered by their father's passing.